I woke up from the marital slumber, beaten, abused, and cheated on. I ran for my life. I ran for my children. I was now an outcast, depressed, and stigmatized.
Oh yes, I have truly loved Ricky. For the time we were married, I don't remember ever going out on a lunch date with any man who's not related to me in any way. I have loved Ricky in a way that only my heart can explain. But I have come to the conclusion that sometimes love kills. And ours is a kind of love that is going to kill one of us.
Today you're here to witness the launch of this awesome book. It's called Oops, Zippy, From the Diary of a Divorced Woman. This is a story based on my real life experiences of my 5 years of marriage and 2 years of dating before that. And again, the 5 years after leaving, after separation and the divorce process and all that. For me, the book, yes, tells about my story, but I believe it is speaking a lot of voices of what's going on in the society right now. I think every week we experience a story of some femicide happening somewhere and spousal murders, even for people who are not married. And so I think the book has come at such an opportune time, and it is important for people to read it because it's not about feminism. It's not about telling people not to get married. I believe marriage is a very sacred and a beautiful thing, but it's just about to tell people, what are the warning signs? Everybody is good. I come from that kind of background to believe that everybody always has good intentions. But the person you are with, do they have the best intentions for you? Or there's someone better out there for you?
Ricky has done everything humanly impossible to do to someone you love. Yeah, I want the love that Ricky and I had. I mean, we have tried to make it work, but I feel like I'm the only one who's making an effort. I feel alone in this relationship. Even when I enjoy the time we spend together, I always leave feeling empty. No, the violence has not escalated because we don't live together anymore. But I'm afraid that if I go back to him, it will be the same old Ricky. The beatings did not start abruptly. They started with him questioning my honesty, my jovial nature, my dressing. Then came accusations that I had aborted, and that is why my fallopian tubes were blocked. Then the slaps came, and I blamed it on the hardships they had undergo in the military. He'd later take me out to dinner, and I'd forgive him. Then it got to the beatings. Ricky kicked and punched me for the slightest reasons. From delaying to open the door for him at 3 a.m., to calling him severally when he's out with his friends, to greeting male friends, and to listening in too closely when his friends with feminine voices called. Don't you think it is heartbreaking when you call your husband and another woman picks his phone and you can hear their talk?
The book talks about our dating life with Ricky. I think we were the best couple ever. Yeah, I was young, I was 25, and then we met, we fell in love. He was in Germany, he's in the Navy, and here I am, an actress, a performing artist. That's the year I was graduating when we met. And so we fall in love, and we decide to get married 2 years after dating, and the marriage goes on well. But as we start struggling to find ourselves in the marriage after the first year, now we need a baby. Then there's the struggle to have a baby. He starts accusing me that I had aborted. He beats me. Then now there are other women coming into the relationship. His infidelity just went overboard, because the moment you think this one is here, that one is over. And then the beatings. And so there was a lot of emotional abuse, physical abuse. And it reached a point where now it was even financial abuse, where I was using my money to do everything in the house, and his money was being used to have fun. Not with me, of course.
I hate myself. Ricky even beat me in the presence of our house help. He beat me in public in front of Kenya Cinema like a common whore. He beat me when I was carrying our son, and he beat me when I was pregnant with my little girl. I have been admitted to the hospital for injuries from his beatings. And that pain has become part of me. I have thought of killing myself severally, but the idea of leaving my little girl with him is simply unbearable.
We had gone out to town that day to get a voting card. And so he had gone to see his friends, and we had agreed that we will meet in the evening. So when it reached the evening, I called him to come and pick me. But then he said that he was on his way. I waited. But by 7 p.m., he was nowhere to be seen. At 9 p.m., nowhere to be seen. I told him, I'm going to do this to wait for you there. The guy came at midnight, and according to him, I was drinking with the guy next to me. Yet, knowing him and not being sure what time he was going to arrive, I don't think I would be able to do that. So he, first of all, leaves me there. I go outside to talk to a cousin of mine. My phone is stolen. I come back inside. He comes and tells me that we go. So we go into our car, and that's where he starts to beat me. And in this process, I come from the front seat and go to the back. And when going to the back, he stops the car and starts hitting me more. So I get out of the car, and this time I tell him, you're not going to beat me this time the way you hit me last time when we were coming from Westgate. And so I leave, I get out of the car, and he starts telling me to get back inside. He starts pushing me, and I refuse. So I start screaming and telling people, help me, because if you hear there's a woman who's going to be killed on Mombasa Road, you will remember that you saw me, and that woman will be me. So people came and helped me and pulled him away. And I stood away, and that evening, I remember my exact words. I told him, Ricky, I, Zippora, your wife for 5 years. We have had 2 children. One is buried in your home, and one, the one that's left, is mine. It's over.
You ask if he's sorry. He's apologized severally since I left. Playing nice, but how do I go back to trusting him? How do I trust him when the only image that comes to my mind are of me lying on the cold floor after a beating? My face turning red with humiliation after he beat me in front of his childhood friend for taking too long at the marketplace. The image of my body at the bottom of the bathtub lying dead and cold. I can't take this anymore. Yes, he says he doesn't drink as much as he used to, but every time he calls me, he's drunk. Even when we meet, all we do is drink, talk, and have. Ricky cannot give me a single cent for our daughter's upkeep. He would rather drink it. Many times the beatings would come after a drinking spree, or because I confronted one of his women who called feeling entitled to him. Then there was this General Madenge who kept calling even deep into the night. One day I just lost my cool and called him back. General Madenge is a woman. She knew Ricky was married, but he was only with me because I was his baby mama. I went on to ask her about a certain yeast infection that had been disturbing me for quite some time, and she was not perturbed about this. Then I kept wondering, what would be next? Imagine being faithful and getting infected with HIV because of a philandering man. I would not forgive him. God knows I wouldn't.
I called my sister, told her to go take my laptop and my certificates, put them in her room, and I told her the following day they would be able to get the next instructions, which would be to come to my aunt's place. And on that evening, I don't know why I had to tell my sister, check my laptop and my certificates, because that had never happened. But it was kind of like an intuition of keep your things safe, because when this man goes to the house, you don't know what he might do with those valuable things of yours. Because where it had reached in our relationship, I felt there was no more respect, there was no more love, there was nothing actually left.
Ricky is a very jealous man. I remember when we were dating, he got wind of a story in one of the tabloids that I was dating a certain singer. Imagine he flew back home from Germany and proposed to me. He's very jealous. He even made me stop singing because he didn't like how men hugged and kissed me on the cheeks after concerts. He's never taken my singing career seriously, and he always thought it was a plan for me to just meander around with unknown men at night. Do you know what? One time, I was coming from watching a film with him. Then we met my music producer. Ricky got so angry and said there was something between us and we had been sleeping. Ricky beat me so much that day I almost miscarried. I thought he was just jealous because he loved me. He just wanted me to himself.
That was the beginning of the end. But many things happened after that. He brought another woman to my house. We tried to reconcile, but it couldn't work. We went for divorce, and the process was turmoil. I went through very deep depression. And then it reached a point where now I had to let go. So being a performing artist, I felt this would be my easiest way to overcome. I decided, let me write it. Let me share my story. First, it was not supposed to go to the public, yeah? But the more I wrote, and the more I heard about other people's stories, the more I wanted to have this out. And that's what we did. So we had the play last year in 2018, and now we have the book, so that those who are not able to come for the play can be able to read the book. And for me, this book is about speaking out. We want people to speak out and share their stories, and that's why I want people to enjoy this.
I think he's depressed. I remember the first time we visited the coast and we went to this club. I wanted to sit outside and listen to the band, but Ricky, on the other hand, just wanted to sit in some funny corner as if he's hiding from something or someone. I think he's afraid of something, and that fear makes him take it out on me. Do you think he needs help to help him forget the war he saw in Kismayu? Should I stay and help him? I can change him. I can change Ricky and make him a better man. Except that I'm scared. I mean, what if he gets an outburst and hits me? What if I end up dying like those women on TV who are killed by their husbands? Wait. What if I get too angry and hit him, then he dies in my hands? What will I tell the police? What will happen to my daughter if I go to prison because I killed her father out of revenge? Ricky doesn't care about her. If he did, he'd be with her more often. He would see her. He would make time for her. He frightens her because every time he's around, he's either angry or shouting at me about something.
What happened after I did the play, a lot of women started reaching out to me, telling me, that's my story, you're telling my story, I'm going through the same, what should I do? And so I felt that people needed a forum to be able to vent. So we started the Necklace Forum, where people come and they're able to share in their experiences. There are two challenges that we've experienced with the Necklace Forum. When people come, a lot of people have not reached that point of being able to share publicly in their story. People just want to share with me. Because I think they feel like, we know you have already spoken about yours, and so we want to trust you with our information so that you can help us overcome. So there are people who come and they're ready to share with the group, but there are people who come and they want to just share with me. So what we do is we have a follow-up. I have counselors who are friends and who are able to help them. And some of them, after being counseled, some are directed to lawyers to help them follow suit. And some even just being told that they need a court injunction to even prevent the man from following or intruding in their lives. There's a lot going on, and I think sometimes they feel like I'm more at risk than even them having all this confidence. But then again, if I don't listen, who will? Because sometimes it's about just having that person you can trust to listen to your story and not tell it to the world before you're ready.
Lately, I've started to feel numb in my heart. I mean, look at me. Look at me. I look like a woman who has never had anything. I feel alone and empty. My heart has been torn and shred into small pieces. Only to realize that no amount of love was ever going to change Ricky. Prayers have fallen on deaf ears. And I know I will be blamed for making him treat me like this. In the 5 years we've been together, I have learned how to listen without asking, how to obey commands without questioning, how to be what I am not, all for peace sake. Look at me. Look at me. I have loved Ricky so much. I gave him my everything. I gave him whenever and however he wanted it, even when he demanded it 5 times a day. I cooked for him and washed his briefs. I took care of our home like a true African woman. And I thought it would make him not go to other women.
If anyone picks up Zippy, you should be ready to hear a story as raw, as true, as bold as you would ever wish to experience. However, in the simplest language. Because I tell it in a language that anyone, even an 18-year-old, can be able to understand. But it is raw and it is honest and it's from the bottom of my heart, because I said, if I keep this, why am I keeping it? How will I heal? I had to let go of as much as I could, yes. That a lot of people will start speaking out and being able to get help, and then hopefully domestic abuse will reduce. I don't know if it can stop, but I hope that it will reduce immensely, and even the homicides that we are experiencing, the femicides, should be able to be controlled in such a way that we should not be able to even hear about them. But the women and men equally should be able to speak out, because gender violence, it is not okay. It is a basic human right, and everybody should feel free and secure.
What hurts me is how he says he doesn't like me wearing a lot of makeup, yet all those he used to f around with had loads and loads of makeup with fake hair and fake nails and short skimpy dresses, the ones he used to deny me to wear. It's amazing how Ricky changed. How he stopped loving everything he adored about me. He said we were now married and I couldn't trust the way I used to. Do all men change like this? I am to blame for everything. For the nights I overslept and I wasn't able to open the door for him at 3 a.m. Or the late nights he came home and I wasn't able to warm his food because I was too tired from nursing the baby. But I just didn't know. I just didn't know how to light the gas with the baby in my hands. Yet he didn't want to hold the baby, saying he was way too drunk. What was I supposed to do? I failed Ricky. I failed him. I got too busy with my PhD that I didn't have time to go drinking with him till late into the night. I wanted to be so perfect that I forgot myself. I put on so much weight after I got the baby that he had every reason to look for younger women. But I just wish he understood how hungry one gets when nursing.
I think what has been on the rise is the social media is able to put it out there. However, this thing has been happening. But another thing that I feel has increased this boldness in partners killing each other is the social stigma. People do not want to be criticized by the society when something happens. Like, you want to leave me? Okay, instead of leaving me, I'll kill you, because separation or divorce in itself is not an easy thing for most people. So there's the social stigma that comes with it, there's the fear of the unknown, and also too much self-criticism, not knowing what will people say and how you'll handle it. And the depression is on the rise, the mental health issues on the rise, and sometimes when somebody's going through all this depression and mental health, people laugh at them thinking that they're just being clumsy, they are not normal. But it is a real issue that me and you included can go through. I went through depression. People were seeing me smiling every day, but every time I was driving home, I was crying at night, I was crying, I was not having enough sleep, and I had to get medical attention. Because sometimes I ask myself, if I didn't take that bold step to go for counseling, where would I be right now? So I think people need to take that step. But the society also needs to be able to criticize after understanding.
I am to blame for everything. And I went through his phone, and I got exactly what I was looking for. Messages from different women and M-Pesa messages to other women, yet he did not give me a single cent for our baby's upkeep. This made me hysterical. I should have just shut up and let it go. Or maybe I didn't pray enough, or I prayed too much. Perhaps I should have stayed in bed with him on those Sunday mornings instead of going to church. It's all my fault. I stopped being fun. I forgot myself. But wasn't he the one who always got so angry every time I dressed up and asked to go for a dance? Was he not the one who made me stop performing at public concerts? What did he want me to do? I am angry at me. I can't believe I stayed so long being abused and humiliated. I can't believe I degraded myself to the level that I cannot look at my life. I am disgusted and frustrated by what my life has become. I love him so much. I gave him my all. I have wanted to share a bond with Ricky in a way that no one else can understand, but guess what? It's not happening. I'm terrified of leaving my destiny in his hands as I have done before, because he has broken it. He has destroyed me. Ricky has destroyed my future. He broke my dreams and broke my womanhood. I am nothing. All I wanted to do is just be happily married like any other woman. Is that too much to ask for? It's all my fault. I am too emotional. I am too angry about small things. I am too loud and too outspoken. I am helpless. I'm simply impossible to love.